All right. Letting people get logged in here. All right. Still got people coming on. All right. I think we're good to go here. Let's see how this works out for us here today. It's great to be with you. I'm Chad. I'm gonna be leading the webinar today, and uh, really good to be here. And we've got some exciting new stuff. You know, what we want to do today is take you through some of the newest stuff that we had as we're going through the show season. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions and stuff, but we got a lot of new things to present and to tell you about. And we won't get into all the details here, right? But we'll just kind of give a good overview of the stuff that we've got coming, and really excited about a lot of this stuff. So let me kind of get into this slide deck here a little bit, see if I can share it. I've got a lot of screens up today, so hopefully I can make this work. I'm going to be bouncing around a little bit. All right. So lots of new things like what we're showing. I hope that we can see this. Aaron, if we can't, you let me know, okay? We have a lot of new things and new announcements to go on. So 2025, you know, it's our 25th year anniversary, right? This year. So 25 years ago, myself, hold on for 1 second. Let me shut the door. There we go. Sorry about that. Myself, my brother, my wife, and my dad all got together, and we started QFloors. And we each had our little specialty of what we were going to do, and we could have never imagined that we would get to where we are today, right? We have about 1,400 customers. You know, it was tough there at the first. Sometimes you wonder if you did the right thing, and you know, but it's been a great ride. It really has. I mean, recently we've seen a bunch of customers that have been with us for a long time. We were up at the Mohawk show, and you know, it's been great. It's just been really good. So this will be my 25th year in a row of setting up a booth and going to surfaces in Vegas. I don't think I've ever missed. Some of those times I was pretty sick and I probably shouldn't have gone. I bet I spread a lot of germs before we were hyper sensitive to the 2020 stuff. But you know, this will be the 25th time I've set up a booth there. You know, it's been a crazy ride. So anyway, the reason why I give you kind of this little introduction is because all year long we're going to be celebrating 25 years here at QFloors, and we have some cool things coming up and happening. So one of them is we will be having a users conference this year, doing something that we've never done before. We've considered this in the past, but it's kind of a little bit more expensive. We thought we might splurge this year a little bit and go out on a limb and do something a little bit more that out of the way of anything that we've ever done. So here's what we've got. We are announcing that we've reserved some cabins for an Alaskan cruise. And this will be on August 16th through the 23rd. And, and we've had a lot of people have a lot of interest in this. I think it's on a lot of people's bucket list. And so it's a way that, this will be more of a celebration than anything, I think, in a lot of ways. I know some of you have been to our users conferences before. We get a lot of work done usually, right? There's a lot of classes, a lot of training. I think this one will be a little bit more laid back and more of a celebration, more of a time to enjoy each other, the friendships that we've created over the years. And we will have some training. Don't get me wrong. We'll fit some of that in. It just won't be the majority, right? 7 days. It's not 7 days worth of training. We'll get some in there, but most of it's just going to be enjoying the time together, right, and celebrating and reminiscing and just having a good time together. So that's what this is kind of going to be like. Of course, you're able to write this off, as a business expense. And we'll have a guest speaker. We're still working on that. We think we know what we're going to do there. We'll be announcing that. And so with this special thing that we're doing, we think that there will be a ton of interest, right? So this is kind of the more of the details of it. It's 7-day, August 16th. We're going to start in Vancouver, and it's on Holland America. And so we're going to be emailing these out to you, this information here. This is just kind of like the cruise, if you want to look it up and get kind of a head start with it. You'll be able to see some more of the details here and where it's going and stuff like that. So anyway, we just thought we would show you that real quick. By the way, as we send out the emails, there will be a registration link in there where you'll be able to register. We're asking for $400 down. That will be the training fee, and that will give you a commitment to your cabin. So it's $400 per cabin, basically, is what it will be. And yeah, looking to see everybody there. And it is a boat, and we only have so many cabins that we're able to reserve. And so it will be kind of limited once we fill those up. I don't think it's going to be very easy for us. They've told us probably won't be very easy for us to get more cabins. So these are very popular cruises. It took us a long time to secure what we had. And so that's kind of what that is. So come join us. We'd love to have you and celebrate this time together. So that's what that is. All righty. So the rest of this webinar, we're going to be talking about new stuff in QFloors. Like I said, I'm not going to be able to go into all the details. It's going to be kind of high level. I mean, in each one of these, the trainings and the showing you everything could take, 30 to 40 minutes. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give you a high level intro to what's going on. And then you guys can come ask us more questions at our shows. And, with our sales department and stuff, they can explain it more. But I'm going to get to some of our very newest stuff that one of these, I don't think most of you have seen yet. So let's start with QTagger, okay? QTagger, there is some history here. Way on back 20 years ago or 19 years ago, we came out with a free product called QTagger that we kind of distributed and let people use. And, it was a good little product for the time. And basically what it would do is help people tag their showrooms. They could import CSV files and stuff and print out tags for the sample racks and things of that nature, right? And back at that time, that was kind of revolutionary. People weren't really doing that yet. Most of the tags were handwritten and stuff like that. So it was kind of a jump for some people to jump into this. So we're coming out with a new product, or resurrecting a 19-year-old product into something really new and giving it a facelift and coming out with what we call QTagger. And what this is at a very high level, and I'll show you a little bit about what's going on, but this gives you the ability to print out QR codes that are directly tied to QFloors so that you can put those QR codes on your sample racks. And then you can use things like your phone, right, to go over and, this is my phone, to go over and hit the QR code and it will take you to a website. We'll do that here in just a second. That gives you the pricing. It gives you the quantity in stock. It gives you the other colors that are there. It gives you room scenes, all on this like little web page that comes up on your phone, right? So a customer could be walking around the store wondering how much is this, they hit it, boom, and it gives them this website, right? QR code, website for tagging your showroom. That means as prices go up, you don't have to put new tags on, right? It just updates the website where the tag is, and you automatically have a new price. If the inventory, if you want to show the inventory, you can, but let's say there's inventory of this in your back room and it gets updated in QFloors, right? And maybe it goes down because somebody bought some or new stuff comes in. Well, automatically overnight, all the prices and the quantities in stock get updated on your QTagger, so you don't have to go change anything. It gets updated automatically, okay? We also have the ability, and I'll show you, you'll see this here in a second. You'll also have the ability to have a QFloors barcode on there, which what that means is, actually, let me just kind of show you here real quick what I'm talking about. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I'll let you get on it with your phones, right? So you can see kind of that QR code. There's a barcode down at the bottom. That's a QFloors barcode. So you can actually take this tag or this sample or whatever over to your QFloors, scan that barcode at the bottom, and it will bring up the product that you're actually looking for, and you could actually just put it right onto your sales order, or you can search on it on your material screen. So there's a couple of things. This QR code allows you to have dynamic pricing and inventory updates, but it also has a barcode that can help you automatically fill out your sales order and make sure that you're getting the right product when you're creating the sales order for your customer. So a lot of cool things like that, right? So I'm just going to give you just a real brief overview. We have a new website that you can go to, and maybe I'll just show you that real quick. If you go to QFloors.com, there'll be more information there. Go to QFloors.com, go to solutions. Oh boy, my cache did not update. We just released this website last night, so it's, let's see, Control R, I believe. So the cache had not gotten updated yet. Let me do this. Try QFloors.com here. Okay, you see these new, this is brand new here, right? And you have a QTagger here at the top. Well, if you go on to here, it will give you information about the pricing, about what's going on. Anyway, a little bit more information there if you want to look at it, okay? Let me show you a little bit about how this works. So in QFloors, right, I'm going to drag this over here to this screen over here. Hopefully y'all can still see this. Aaron, if they can't see this, would you please let me know? I think they can see it. I'm not just sharing my one tab or one screen, right? So if anybody can't see this, yell. Okay, so in QFloors, you'll notice that in our product catalogs here, you've probably seen this for a while, right? Where you come in here and you can see this display tabs and display online features right here. In QFloors, as you click off these products, these styles and colors, and say, I want to display this with QTagger, basically is what you're saying. This allows you to define the products that go into our QTagger product, right? It's not your full catalog. We have a scaled down version or a scaled down list of the products that will actually be displayed. There's a lot of reasons for that, but I just want to let you know we're actually limited to 25,000 individual products that you can display in your showroom with your QTagger right now. We will, within the next year, I think that this will be going to more unlimited, but there's some speed stuff and things like that that we're trying to be conscious of right now. But anyway, you select which tags that are which styles and colors that you want to go over to your QTagger, right? And then as you do that, there's another way where you can actually like do it a little bit quicker. This online catalog place, you could come here and say, hey, for this manufacturer, all tile, I want to do just the carpet, right? And I want to display these in my tags. And you can say, turn on all the carpet for all tile. And it would go through and it would add all of your carpet for that manufacturer. So you can do them one by one on the style screen, or you could go over here and use this online catalog feature to help you select a broader range of the products that you want. Then once you do that, there's two ways to get it updated onto our QTagger website, right? This is all going on to some websites that we have. You can either do it on demand, and what you would do is hit your catalog printing and exporting and hit export online catalog right here. And that will send all of the stuff immediately over to QTagger. Or you can just leave it, and every night it automatically will refresh all your stuff on a nightly basis, right? So two ways to get these updates. And like I said, here within the next year, it will probably just happen automatically on demand as we get into QPro more. The QPro technology will have an instant update type of a thing as we get to that. So this is kind of the concept. You're telling QTagger what you want to go up there, and then QTagger displays it. I'll show you a little bit about that website right now. Let me grab this. So when you log in, this is kind of like what your QTagger website, you can see it says QTagger up here at the top. This is what your QTagger website looks like. You can see that I've got 1,500 pages in here of products. So it's not just like a few, right? And you can actually do how many per page, you want to see. So if I wanted to see a few more, I could do 50 per page, which will bring me up to only 300 of these, right? So you can do that. You can search for whatever you want. So we have these filters under the manufacturer. So if you just want to see this manufacturer or this style, whatever, this is how you would sort through here. So let's just say I'm looking for a product. I think I've got a Lansing here. Do I not have a Lansing in here? LAN. Let me just try LAN. Okay. So you can see the LANs all come up in here, right? It's changed over to anything with an LAN. And so you have filters where you can filter things down by style names, color names, SKU numbers, all that kind of stuff. And then once you get what you're wanting, you can check the boxes right here. You can, do a check all like this, or you can check certain ones like this, the ones that you want to print. And then you would just come down here and hit print selected SKUs, and it will print out your QR codes that you can go put on your samples. Okay. That's one way of doing all this. Okay. And by the way, those QR codes, if you just click on one of these like this right here, you can see that when I click on the QR code right here, it actually brings up the QR code, and you can use your phone. Everybody could take out their phone right now if you wanted, and you could just grab this like this, and it will display, you guys all see that? It will display the logo. This is kind of like what your customer could see. The price, how much you have in stock. There's a barcode down there at the bottom for QFloors. If you have a 2D a 2D barcode scanner, you can scan that right into your computer into QFloors, and then you can see, like, if there's room scenes and pictures, the person can see what it would look like for there. So, and this all comes from QFloors, the pictures and stuff like that. Those come over automatically, from your QFloors. I think most of you have seen now where we're importing automatically pictures from the manufacturers and stuff like that. And so opportunity to have all this stuff kind of updated automatically. Pretty cool, right? So you can test that out on your own phones if you want. But the idea is you would have one of these out on your sample racks, and then you can hit that, right? So this, has kind of been already, this kind of technology has already kind of been going on. And the QR code idea. So, but I think here's where it gets unique. Not only do we do QR codes, but integrated into here, you'll notice that there's these tag fields over here, right? You can see these tags. And this actual website's kind of live right now, so I don't want to change too much. But what that is talking about is we also have the concept of having electronic tags, right? If you've ever seen these before, if you've ever been in Kohl's or Walmart is starting to go to these kind of tags too. This is an electronic tag. It's not paper. And this connects to our QTagger system so that when the prices update electronically, the prices can change on here also, right? And the quantities and all that kind of stuff.
Can you stop sharing your screen so that people can see the tab?
Oh.
It's kind of small. So.
Oh, stop sharing my screen for a second. What about this? Sorry. All right. I don't know all what I saw, but they were wanting me to show this. So the electronics tag, right? I guess it's looking backwards because of the camera, but this gives you a better view on what this looks like. These are also probably the more standard tags. These are the smaller ones. There are different prices, right? These are under 20 bucks, I believe, these smaller ones. The idea that we have here is, most people to do electronic tags on every single display is sometimes out of reach for most of our dealers, right? I mean, that could be thousands of dollars. But let's say that there are products that you want to highlight, that you want to bring customers over to, and that kind of a thing. Well, you can put these out there on those displays and, highlight the products that you want. Also, people don't have to take their phones out to scan the QR codes if you do it like this. The price is already there, right? So on products that are your court, maybe you can spend a couple of $100 or something for electronic tags that would go on your displays, right? And so that's what these fields are for over here. So if you kind of got it, you're selecting stuff in QFloors, you're pushing it over to QTagger, you're either printing out the codes or you're connecting electronic tags here. And then from there on out, your showroom automatically gets updated, right? And as prices change or quantities change in QFloors, things are happening automatically. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to download or re-upload stuff. It just happens. Okay. So that's QTagger, right? I think that's what I want to say about QTagger right now. There's a lot, of course, there's some setup and some things like that that really go into it. But I really think this is going to be, we're presenting a way for our customers to get into QR codes and electronic tagging for a reasonable price. Like I said, a lot of people, when they look at electronic tags, it's, 20 grand just to get in for a reasonable store. And now just for hundreds of dollars, I think we're providing an opportunity for people to get into that type of situation. So Even the very smallest stores could afford it. All right, so that's QTagger. Let me come back and share my screen back here again. Let's see. All right, I think we're back here.
Chad, there are some questions on QTagger.
Okay, I think I'm gonna leave the questions to the end. Is that okay? What are the well, if you want to read them off to me, go ahead. Read them off to me real quick. I can't hear you.
Sorry. Can you print one QR code for one style only? So one tag per carpet board, or would you print one tag for each color?
So if you'll notice on your phone, all right, let me go back to where I'm unsharing again. Good question. So if you'll notice on your phone right here, there is a little box right here that says select color, right? So you can see that all of these colors are associated with the same style for that QR code. So, you know, somebody could click on one color. You could print out one barcode for a whole display or one QR code for a whole display. And then once you select that QR code, you can see all the different colors that go along with it. Good question. Another question, Aaron?
Yeah, so can you use the QR code to check out samples?
The barcode.
The barcode,
This
not the QR
barcode
code.
down here at the bottom. That's what you would use to check out samples, yes.
Is this only available to customers on QCloud?
No,
It's for
all
everyone.
QFloors customers. QPro, not yet, but QPro will be coming later this year. So, and I'm going to talk about QPro in a little bit, but yeah. So all QFloors customers, doesn't matter if you're on the cloud or if you have it on-prem, everybody has this available.
On the 9.610 latest version, correct? The Postgres version?
The version, yeah. Actually, the latest QTagger stuff will be on the pre-release version. So if you get QTagger, that we've done some more updates on the latest release, on the latest pre-release. So as we set you up, we will be encouraging you to go to the pre-release first.
Okay. Last question is, some people are asking about the cost.
Yeah, it's on our website. So I'm just going to refer you
Okay.
to our website right there. And then our salespeople, it just depends on the product, number of locations, that kind of a thing. So I think I'm just going to leave the cost. Anybody can go onto that website I just showed you, and there are some preliminary costs there. All right. Is that it?
One more. Can you manually change the pricing when you have a special price from your vendor that is not communicated through B2B?
Yes, you can. And that's one of the bugs I just barely fixed, but let's see. Am I sharing? I'm not sharing, right? My screen.
No, you're not.
All right. Keep me on track here, Aaron. All right. All right. So it's just the way that you would normally do it in QFloors. If you come to your product catalog and come to one of these products here, and if you put your price in, this retail price in right here, that will override your formulas. So, and this is how QFloors normally work. So the great part about all this, you're managing all of your formulas for the updates, the markups, all of the way that QFloors manages its prices is the same thing that's happening in QTagger. So in QFloors, to override the price that comes from the manufacturer, you come in here and you can either select a formula or just type in, I want this to be $2 a square foot, like that. And that will override the price. Yep, all that's in here. There's other great features that are coming too. This is just version 1, but we've got a lot of other cool integrations, things like being able to display inventory specials in certain websites. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming, but I don't have time for it all today. Is that it?
Do you have to have B2B to use QTagger?
No.
Okay.
You do not. if you're using B2B, your prices will get updated automatically. If you're not, then you manually have to go into QFloors, the product catalog, to do the updates, right? So but that's the only difference. Any other questions real quick? So excited about this. This is awesome. This is as awesome as QPay, which we'll talk about in a sec. But this is a great new product. I'm really excited about this. I let me just kind of go back. The reason we did this a year ago, we had a users conference in Zion's National Park. I'm sure many of you that are on this call were there. And you know that for 2 hours, we talked about QR codes and one QR code. And, why can't QFloors have this and that? Well, here it is. The major topic of our conference 1 year ago that you all participated in, the people that were there, we gave you what you asked for. And that's how QTagger came about. It was the number one asked about and thing that was talked about throughout the whole users conference for 2 days. And so we went to the drawing board and we brought it for you. That's how this came about. And if you'll see the vision here, when you hit your one QR code here, it's not only going to bring up this website, but we're going to be able to make it so that it can go to your other websites and integrate visualizers and other things too, all from one QR code. That was also asked about, and we're going to make that happen. Okay. Anything else, Aaron? I can't hear you again. Are you on mute, Aaron? I've got so many screens flying around here. I'm not sure what I've got going on, so I'm just going to go on. All right. QOrders. Here's a product that we've had kind of on the back burner for a while now. And we kind of came out with like a pre-release version 4 or 5 years ago. And, there was some demand, but not a high demand for it. But lately we've been having more customers that are in the multi-family housing type of realm. And so QOrders QOrders is a product specifically targeted for people that are doing multifamily housing or even like new builder track homes. All right. So it's kind of like jobs that you're doing over and over again with the template feature for certain customers. So maybe you have a builder that's doing tract homes and they're doing the same units over and over again, or the same kinds of homes, and you're just using a template. That is what this product is specified for. Let me see if I can grab my QOrders here. Give me just a second here. All right. All right. So kind of the idea, let me see if I can use this here for a second. Kind of the idea is that you have a property manager when you're using, when you're doing multifamily housing, right? There's property managers and they might be managing an apartment complex and they have people moving in and out all the time. And so what happens is when somebody moves into there, you've got to get the floors in and prepped and done really quick. And, they could just know, anytime somebody's moving in, they have to hurry and tell you. And, up to this time, it's mostly an email or a phone call or something like that to the dealer. And then they have to put the stuff in the system. Well, the idea about QOrders here is that the person, we can set this up. Let me go to this different screen here for a second. Yeah, here's a better one. Oh. Hold on. Log out. Okay. So the idea is that this property manager is going to come over here and they are going to say, hey, I'm on the Cedar Breaks property right here. I want to select the 2-bedroom or the 3-bedroom or the, whatever type of unit that needs to be done, right? And then you can choose the areas inside of that area, unit that need to be done, okay? And so they're all doing this. The property manager's doing it from this website. This is our QOrders website right here. And they can go ahead and hit, this stuff and then tell what unit number this is, like this. Give it a PO number if you want, and then select the requested install date and then hit create cell. And what happens is it actually creates a cell ready to be downloaded into QFloors. And so on our QFloors product over here, all you have to do is hit this download button down here in the bottom left-hand corner, the big black arrow thing. And it will, like if somebody had added 3 or 4 or 5, you can hit that download arrow and it will load and make out all of the orders automatically inside of QFloors. I don't have a long time to tell you or show you exactly how that happens, but basically it's based off of templates inside of QFloors. And so we know which template needs to be filled out for the Q order, and we know which lines on that template. And then it just creates the order automatically for you. So imagine if you've got property manager. I mean, I know of people that have property managers that are managing 5, 6, 7 properties, and they're doing this all day long and giving you orders all day long to put into QFloors. This makes it so much faster and more seamless. By the way, when they do add an order from this and hit create cell, it will send you an email notifying you that a new order has been created. Okay, so this is QOrders, and so that's kind of the idea of this, right? The other part of QOrders I'm going to show you here, the actual people. There's this thing called account view, also. So the property manager could go into here. Let me see if I can bring some up here. All dates. All right. Well, I wish to have more orders, but the property manager can come in here and they could see all of the orders that they've placed with your company. Actually, they can also see the orders that if you just manually put them into QFloors, they would be able to see their orders in here, even the ones that you manually put in. So here's our second new product. It's called Account View. And you don't have to use QOrders to use Account View. If you just have a repeat customer that you want them to see their all of their orders in their system. Let's say you have a builder and you want them to see on an ongoing basis all their orders and what the balances are and if they've been paid off, blah, 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 blah. You can give them a username and password and they can come in and see all of their orders in here and the status of their orders, right? So this is called Account View, another awesome product. If you have QOrders, you have to use Account View probably. If you just want to use Account View by itself, you can do that, okay? So that's Account View, another awesome product. And then we have this other one. I'm going to log out of here for 1 second. And we're going to log in as, let's see here. Hopefully this will work. I'm going to log in as the administrator now. All right, you'll notice that a lot more items pop up here when you're the administrator, right? You can do your QOrder stuff. You can do your account view stuff. But on here, it's not just the sales orders. This would be the sales orders for everybody. Let's see here, all dates. All right, now you can see, I can see all the sales orders for all of my customers, not just the one that was logged in. So here's, you can see the different accounts that we have here, the Microsoft account, the Delta Airlines account. I can see them all at one time. So I could come in here and say, I just want to see the Microsoft account like this, and it will just show me those ones, right? So this is if you're logged in as the administrator, you can do a lot more stuff. You can see everybody's orders in here. We also have this product in here that has been in here now for about a year, but you can see that we've extended a lot of stuff called Installer View. We've talked about this quite a bit over the last year, but this basically allows you to give a username and password for all of your installers, and then they can come in on their phones and see the jobs that are coming up for themselves. So that, you know, as you're changing the dates on your QFloor sales orders and stuff, you'll be able to see that, you know, these jobs, and your installers can see just their jobs, nobody else's, right? And then there will be a calendar on here. I've got one job. I don't know, we've probably not been playing around a lot with this, but each installer will be able to see their own calendar, or if you're the administrator, you can see everybody's stuff. So each one of these colors is a different installer. If you click on here, you can see more of the details like this. And then if I click on it again a second time, it shows you all of the details about that job. Okay. So this looks like it does in QFloors, like from a QFloor sales order. So all of this is done online, and it all can be done on an installer phone too, right? I'm showing you on a computer. So that's installer view. Okay. All righty. Let's see. So we talked about QOrders, account view, and installer view. Okay. Any questions, Aaron, from there?
Yes. Will we be able to incorporate labor, tax, prep, etc. into QOrders for those orders?
Say, read that again.
Sorry. Will we be able to incorporate labor, tax, preparation, etc. into QOrders for those orders?
Anything that's on a QFloors line, but that does not show anything that you're charging your customers. It only shows the costs of what is the installers, what you're going to be giving, what your installer is charging you, or what you're going to pay your installer. That is the details that is on there, right? And so let me come back to here. So this right here, these amounts right here are the amounts from the in this 208 are the amounts from the job costing screen in QFloors. Anything that has to do with what you're charging your customer doesn't come up in here.
In QOrders.
Oh, in QOrders?
Yeah, he was asking about or she was
Oh
asking
yeah,
about
yeah,
QOrders.
yeah. In QOrders. So in QOrders, it's exactly, yeah, all the tax and everything is all made out automatically for you. You don't even have to touch QFloors at all. QFloors is completely filled out with the tax, with the totals, everything.
Okay. And then, yeah, there's some installer review questions. Can installers turn in bills from installer view and ask questions?
No, they can't. It's mostly just a viewer right now.
And then if you have multiple installers, they can only see their own information,
That is
correct?
correct. That is correct. Each one will have their own username and password and can only see their own stuff.
So one customer is saying that there's an edit, but it looks like there's an edit button for installer view per line. Is that available for installers to suggest changes?
No, it's mostly just to add a description, and that's for the administrator, not for the installer.
Okay.
So the installer doesn't type anything in. The administrator can type some additional instructions if they need to with that edit button.
Okay.
Right here.
Actually, there's one coming back to QTagger. For QTagger, is there a way the employees can see the cost when scanning the QR code without the customer seeing it?
Yes, yes, we have a feature that's coming out if the employee is logged into the computer with a different username and password. So understand that a customer is coming in and they're just scanning it, right, with their phone without being logged in to QTagger. But let's say you're an employee and you are actually logged into a QTagger site under your username and password. You can see more stuff and do more stuff like the costs. And you can even use that in a way like, let's say that you have some contractors that um, that have special pricing, right? Not the retail price that's in your showroom. You can give them a username and password, and it will show them a special price different than what somebody would be walking off the street with. So there are, if somebody has a username and password to log into QTagger under a different account, we can do different things like what they're suggesting. Yes. Okay, are we good?
I think so.
All right, let's go on to our last couple of things here. 45 minutes, so we're getting there. QPay. All right, so this is one that has been around for a while. All right, 3 years now. But I want to bring this up. I mean, this has become one of our best products, tell you the truth. I rarely hear anything negative about what we're doing here. And where credit card processing is such a crapshoot, and such a crazy part of doing business, I just don't know why people wouldn't use QPay. Talk to anybody that's using it. I mean, I think almost everybody swears by it. I can't say 100%, but I'm going to say 99%, right? And the ones that don't, it's because they usually did something wrong, like take stolen credit cards and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But this continues to be extremely popular, and the integrations and I still get the comments, this is the slickest thing I've ever used. So as far as taking credit cards, and the fact that we do a good job on pricing, and most people, I think I've said this before, I think 75% of all people are saving money. So not only are they getting these advanced features, but they're saving money. This QR code right here, if you want to scan it, it goes to this webinar. Back in October of 2023, I took an hour and a half and went through every feature, integration feature that we have in QPay. It took me an hour and a half. And so I don't have time to go through all those, but if you're curious about any of the features that we have and how it integrates into QFloors and why it's different than just walking over to a terminal and putting a credit card in and then having to type that payment back into QFloors, this webinar will give you a great detailed understanding of what QPay can do. Okay, so that's this QR code, or it's under our support site in QFloors, and under training webinars. What?
So we actually just updated the link to the webinar, and that QR code is not updated. But if you the link's on that slide further down. If you just
okay,
if
this
people can
link
go to
right
that
here?
link, yeah.
So this QR code's the wrong one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So go to support.qfloors.com, and then if you go to the webinars and QPay, let's just try this real quick. So I've got to log in. So support.qfloors.com, go to training videos and webinars right here, and under QPay right here is where this is at, this video. So I guess don't use the QR code. We got the wrong one up here for the wrong video. Don't use it. All right. So now that's how you get to there. And now the Pay Now button. All right. So let me just tell you just 2 reasons really quick why people go to QPay. And I mean, two of the biggest reasons. We have this Pay Now button that you can put on your sales orders, so that when you're emailing people a sales order out of QFloors, there's a Pay Now button on there. that when they get that email, they can push on there and they can pay their bill. And that bill goes to, that link goes to an online payment thing. Let's see. So it looks like a pay now button, like this button. You can put this button on your website. You can put it on your emails. You can, have it sent in a different email. Anyway, the idea, you could even put it in a text. The thing is you can email, text this pay now button right here, right? And so when they click on it, it takes them to a website like this where they can type in their name, their ad, Chad Ogden, QFloors. I'm not going to type in my email, but come here. They can select credit card, or they could do e-checks if you want to do ACH. And if it's coming right from QFloors, it automatically puts in the sales order number, the payment amount, right here. Sometimes this one's automatically filled in for them also, right? So, you put that in. You gotta select credit card. And then, they put their credit card number. Anyway, we take the payment online, and the customer, your customer, can do this. Now, why is this important, right? Let me come back over here. Well, let's say somebody walks out of your door and didn't buy, but calls you back and says, hey, I want to order that. You can send them their sales order with that pay now button on, and just tell them to click on there and put the payment on. So we know that people are closing more deals by using just this one feature. How many new deals do you have to close to make this worth it for you? Probably one every month. And I know people are doing way more than that by making it convenient for people to close their deals. The second part is equally like it. Let's say that somebody still owes you money. You can send them a sales order with the balance that they owe with their pay now button on there. And then they can just hit that, and then they can send you the money that they owe you, right? So getting new deals and collecting money faster, this is absolutely an advantage for using QPay. Okay. As well as there's about 20 other ones. I'm just giving you the two biggest that will make a difference in your money, how much money that you're making. So this QPay doesn't cost you money, it makes you money. And then we could go on about surcharging, about how we could really save you money if you go into that. I have one dealer that saved over $100,000 last year in credit card fees just by using surcharging. So don't have time for that. But in our video here, this video, it talks a lot about surcharging. So you can go there and listen to that. Credit card fraud. I always, when I'm talking about credit cards today, I'm always talking about credit card fraud. Because every single month, I have 1 to 2 of my dealers that get scammed by this. And they're like, why didn't you tell me? I mean, every chance I get, we're emailing, we're doing it on our webinars, we're doing it when we do trainings. We always talk about this. So you need to know that if you take a stolen credit card for somebody to pay for something, the merchant, the dealer, is on the hook for that. It's not QFloors, it's not the bank, it's not Visa. When you sign up to take credit cards, you are actually signing up and committing that you will not take a stolen credit card, and that you will do everything you can to prevent that from happening. So what happens, I'm just going to say this really briefly. It's really easy. You'll have somebody that calls you up, and they'll say, and it's the same thing all over the whole country. It doesn't change ever. They'll call you up. They'll say, hey, I'm a contractor out here. I just ran out of this LVT. I need more gray. Do you have anything in a gray in stock? And then you'll say, oh yeah, I've got a pallet of it over here. And then they'll say, hey, can I send an installer over to pick it up? I need it today or tomorrow. And then they'll give you a credit card over the phone, or they'll use our QPay button or whatever. They'll put the credit card in, it will go through. And then you give them the stuff, and then you never see them again. And then 2 weeks later, the credit card company calls you, or we call you, and says, hey, you took a stolen credit card and then they charge you back for whatever you took, and it's usually thousands of dollars. Your 10,000 is not uncommon. And then you got a $10,000 bill that you had to pay. And now you don't have your LVP because it's gone and you can't find it because you don't know where they're at. That is happening at least once or twice a month with my customers, and it's usually between $10,000 to $20,000. I even had a customer that took $80,000 worth of stolen credit cards. Okay, that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was once the credit card companies and the banks and Visa found out they took $80,000 worth of stolen credit cards, they would not allow them to reopen an account anywhere. So this is serious. And this is why I bring it up every time, because if there's 10 people on there that have never heard about this and it prevents you from losing the money, then that's why I'm doing it. Okay. We have a website. If you need more information about how to prevent this, you can go to our website and look up on our QFloors website, look up credit card fraud, I believe. If you go to QFloors.com and go here and let's see, where's the search button? Don't we have a search button here? We used to. I know it's in the press. It's in here somewhere. Credit card scams target flooring dealers. So if you even just type this into Google, it will bring you right here. Credit card scam target flooring dealers. But anyway, you can go there if you need more information about how to prevent that from happening, right? There's some ideas in here. Okay. All right. We'll go on from there. We're just about at an hour and I'm on my last topic here. QPro. Well, going into the show season especially, we always want to talk about where we're at with QPro. A year and a half ago at Zion's, I told everybody there, I am expecting QPro to be out with accounting by our next users conference. And it looks like we're going to make that. That's the other reason, this cruise, the celebration on the cruise, I fully expect that this will be, if we're not done, we're like in testing with QPro around that time. We know that we're within a year now. We're in 2025, QPro with accounting will be launched, right? So for right now, QPro, we are selling it every day without the accounting with QuickBooks. So people that are on QuickBooks and stuff like that, we're selling QPro every day like that. But our accounting is on schedule to be out this year in 2025. And I expect we'll be able to show you all the accounting features when we're on the cruise this summer. We'll have at least a beta version out showing everybody. Okay. Testing to start the summer. If you want to be a beta tester, that means if you want to be on the front lines of this, trying to get the bugs out and help us get it tested, you can email billing@qprosoftware.com. Tell them I want to be a beta tester for QPro accounting system, and they will get back to you. Okay. You'll be on our list, and so when we start testing, we'll give you a call. Here's just a few new features. Let's see. Here's the shows that we're going to be to. If you need to drop off, I'll just let you look at that. We're going to be at all these shows coming up, so you can see us there. I'm going to just take a few more minutes and go over some of the features in QPro. If you've already seen them, if you know what they are, you can drop off now. Let me answer any last questions that you have before I do a quick little QPro demo for those people that want to hang in here and see some of the new stuff we're doing in QPro. Any questions, Aaron?
Yes. So, Let's see. So for QPay, does the Pay Now feature only run cards as credit? What
No.
happens if it's a debit?
Oh, yes, yes, that is true. If they're, the only time that comes into play is if you're doing surcharging. So if they, all right, let me back up. If you're not doing surcharging, if you're just doing normal credit card processing, the Pay Now button works and it works for credit and debit. Doesn't matter. If you're using surcharging, it will allow still credit and debit to be used, but the debit cards will be surcharged, meaning if you're on the surcharging program, whether it's credit or debit, the Pay Now button is always going to be surcharged. But yeah, you can do credit and debit cards with the Pay Now button.
Is there a listed disclaimer for credit card fees?
A listed disclaimer for credit card fees. Don't know. I'll have to call you back. Take the name and phone number of that person, and I'm not sure what the question is. I've never had that question in 3 years. So I it just might mean that I don't know what they're referring to. There are some disclaimers on our website. If you go through there, you will see that on the online one, there are some disclaimers that we're required to put in there. But I don't know if that's what they're talking about. So take down the name and phone number, and I will call them back.
Does the QPay charge the same discount with the Pay Now buttons as phone payments?
Yes, they are the same.
They're the same.
The only rates that are cheaper are if you swipe with a terminal, right? Oh, I've got a terminal here. I don't know if I can bring it up. Did my oh, my computer monitor just went out. All right, there we go. So yeah, the only ones that are cheaper are the ones with a terminal. And they're about 0.2% cheaper. So
Awesome. There was a customer that commented that they've been using QPay for about a year, and they can attest that this is the best that they've used for credit card processing, and they've just really lowered their credit card fees with surcharging, and the
yeah,
payments coming faster. So they attested to that. Um, so just for clarification with QPro, so even people on QCloud, like QPro is going to be available for everyone.
that is correct. There's a few people that it won't be available for. I mean, um, there are a few features. The main features I know that won't come in the first version will be the all cells button, the cuts feature, and the pick, staging, and transfer buttons in the product screen. So those are three of the main features that won't come out in the very first version. But as we get that first version out, I would expect all three of those features that I just mentioned to be out, in 2026. That, I mean, there will be the next ones that we will be doing. So my estimation is 70% of all QFloors customers using accounting will be able to convert this year, coming up year, 2025. And then within the next 6 to 8 months, the first 6 months of 2026, I would guess another 15% will be able to convert. So by a year, a little bit more than a year from now, we're talking 85% of the customer base using accounting should be able to convert. The very biggest customers using every feature in QFloors, like the commercial features, progressive billing, those guys will take a little bit longer.
Okay. Let's see. I'm just reading through all the questions. Someone's asking kind of on that note, just when QPro does come out with accounting, how easy is it going to be to switch from it to the standard QFloors version? Will there be a way to convert over seamlessly? What will that look like?
Of course, nobody's done it yet. Let me just preface it with that, but I can tell you what my expectation and vision is. Expectation and vision is that, well, number one, the data will all come over. So you're not going to be, we're going to convert when you convert over, we're going to take your QFloors data and it will appear in QPro. So all the historical data, all the accounting data, all of that kind of stuff will be inside of QPro. So number one, you don't have to retype anything back in. Okay. So that's the first thing. Number two, the learning curve, right? How much of a learning curve? Well, you can sit on here with me for a second and I'm going to go through a demo and give you a quick demo about what it looks like. I anticipate that we will have some training videos that will show the differences, like this is how you do it in QFloors, this is how you do it in QPro, but they're not going to be long videos. I would expect the video to be about 20 minutes. And I'll show you some of the difference here in a second, but I would expect after a couple of days of using it, it's going to be like QFloors. It works mostly like QFloors does right now. It's not the same, but it's 80 to 90% the same. The things that are different are all the good stuff, right? So we have a job costing window, we have a materials window, a sales window, a product, so, and they all work mainly the same way they do in QFloors right now. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a customer that's just, yeah, I might actually have some of these questions I might actually have you personally email after
Okay.
the
Yeah,
webinar.
that would be fine.
Um, let's see. Seeing if there's ones applicable to everyone. Are tokens payments cheaper?
No, tokens, pay now buttons over the phone, those are all the same. The only ones that are cheaper are the ones that you do with an actual terminal where you insert a card. The reason that is because the risk factor, right? It's a higher risk to take a card over the phone with a token, with a pay now button than it is when you put an actual card into a terminal. So that's why. But they're all pretty much the same, other than putting them into a terminal.
Okay. Just a few more payments questions. Um, is it a potential compliance issue charging debit cards a fee through Pay Now?
No. If they're talking with surcharging, no, because the customer is willingly doing it. So if they choose to use a debit card knowing that it shows them that they're going to be charged a surcharge, so they can see plainly it's in yellow. I think you can go back in our demo and look at it. It pops up in yellow showing them there's a surcharge. And if they continue with their debit card, then that's up to them. That's their choice.
Okay, and then just kind of adding on, this was actually one of the questions we had questions on, but they kind of were clarifying. So we don't have charge surcharging set up. So when we process credit cards, we have to disclose the 3% credit card fees prior to processing. Does the Pay Now processing show this disclaimer?
I'll have to talk to you. It sounds like a
Okay.
very specific surcharging question.
Okay.
I need to talk to you. Surcharging is regulated, very regulated. And if you are trying to do surcharging outside of our surcharging program, which it sounds like, you should probably not do that because 90% chance you're going against the regulations if you're not using it the way we're telling you to. Surcharging is very specific. You have to follow very specific rules. And if you're not following them, then you're out of compliance and you could get a fine. Yes. If you do it the way we tell you to do it and use our tools, you'll be just fine.
We are making note of those. Yeah, if we haven't answered your questions completely, I have been making notes, so there
Okay.
might be some follow-up. let's see. Can we set our own percentage for surcharging?
No.
No, right? Okay, what are
In fact, I'll just comment on that. The regulation is you cannot charge more than 3% right now. And that's what we charge. If you are, you're out of regulation. If you're using QFloors and if you're putting on a QFloors line surcharge, you're out of regulation. You're not doing it right and you could get fined. So if you're trying to do it outside of our program, there's like I said, a 90% chance that you're not following the regulations. And I can talk to you about that when I call back.
okay. How will QPro handle SUA payments? Will they be charged the same as keyed entries, which result in higher processing fees?
What is that? What was that again? What?
SUA.
Payments? I'll call back. I'm
Okay.
gonna have to look at that.
Um, and then what are those so back, I think those were all the QPay questions.
Okay.
For QPro, what are those 3 to 4 items that will not be in QPro right away for accounting customers?
The all sales, let me just show you real quick. On the sales order, on the payment screen, this button right here will not be on the first one. So it's that one right there. The cut feature, if you're on here, let me see if I bring up, double click. This cut feature right here where you double click on the one right here, and then the other ones, and these are the 3 more popular. There's a few others, but the pick, staging, and transfer will not be there either. So those are the 3 most common ones that we're seeing that could prevent somebody. Now, you can still come over, you just know that those won't be there and you just live with it until we get them in, right? So there'll be some people that will choose to convert anyway because all the things that they're getting are so much more than what they're losing. But some people might choose to stay until we get those done. Okay? Still there, Aaron?
Yes. I guess SUA is single-use virtual credit cards that are a one-time use.
Yeah,
They can be
a lot of times those do not work. Just depends on what kind they are. But yeah, if you have these special purchasing cards, a purchasing card, sometimes we cannot guarantee that they will work.
um,
Never had a problem with Visa, MasterCards, corporate card, any of the kind of normal cards, they work just fine. Sometimes the special use one-time purchasing cards, they do not work. Sometimes, not all the time, but we can't guarantee it. Okay. Are we good, Aaron? Can I go to QPro?
Yep, I think we're good.
All right, we're going to go over to QPro for just a second. I just want to show you a couple of new features. Obviously, the biggest thing in QPro is it works in a browser, right? So here's my browser right here, and I can log in from anywhere, right? You have all the advantages that you would have with using a browser. And, you can do things like you can duplicate the windows, right? I can right click and hit duplicate. And now I have 2 QPro windows up here. One I might use for my sales orders like this. Let me see if I can get all dates in here. So I'm on my sales order screen. And then maybe I want a tab over here where I do my material screen, right? So, and I could do 3 material screens up here or 3 sales order screens. So that's just one kind of cool new feature that we have in here is that you could have as many tabs up here at the top that you want. Okay, so you could do more than one sales order at a time is what I'm trying to say. Okay. This is my, if I'm on my sales screen like this, I have a list of my sales orders and then the details of those sales orders on the right side of the screen over here. Let me see if I can get one right here. So you can see the details down here, you know, my sold to, shipped to, billed to, that's a little bit different. Some of the totals for the cell are up here at the top now, the balance. So, you know, things are in a little bit different place. We have our job costing screen. And I will say this, one of the biggest changes that will take time to get used to is instead of menus, we have a lot of icons here. So this is add a new sales order, right? This is save the sales order. This is duplicate. So you can see all these different, and you'll see all these icons here too. So this is, you know, add a kit right here, add a product, add a labor item, add a comment. So you can see that, you know, all these things, these are move the lines up and down, right? So if I wanted to move this line up, this carpet regular up, I just click on it and do that. And now I can move the order of my lines. I can delete lines, right? This is a test comment. If I don't want this right here, I just hit the delete button like that, and it deletes that line out. So I can insert lines, I can delete lines, I can reorder the lines. That's one of the biggest differences, you know, in the sales order is I can do all this crazy new stuff and also I can expand and contract. So if I had multiple kits, so let's just say I have another kit here like this. So now I have two kits. Actually, I want to move this one out like that. Okay. So now I have this kit right here and I have this kit right here. And I could have a bunch of different kits. And then I say, oh, I want to see a kit. Let's just say that this is like the carpet, right? And this one is like the tile, like this, right? Well, I could put all my stuff for my carpet underneath this one kit like this, and I can expand and contract it, right? And I can do this up to 3 levels. So I could put another kit in here like this tile. I could actually put this tile inside of here. Let me move this like this. What am I doing here? Yeah. So now that tile kit is inside of this carpet kit, right? And then I could put the tile underneath it. So there's all different ways to reorder the invoice lines. There's no limitations. And you can see that you can put as many comments in here as you want. You could put as many products or labor, and you can order them around however you want. It's very flexible on how all that is accomplished. Okay. This is all viewable on phones. Usually if you're on a phone, you would make the screens a little bit different, right? So we have these features up here where I can make it so that if I'm on a phone, I'm only seeing the details of the sales order. So this would scrunch down a lot more so that it would be just onto a phone size. Or I could do, I just want to see my list of sales orders, or I want to see both, right? So pretty cool how all this works. You know, it's like I say, it will work on a phone, it will work on an iPad, it will work on any device that has a browser. That's another advantage. You can do this from anywhere. I kind of skipped over this home screen here, but you'll see that when you first come in, we have this dashboard. There we go. So I don't have a lot of it filled in, but there'll be a dashboard on here where you can see all kinds of reports when you first come in. And depending on who's logged in, it will give permissions on who can see which reports, right? So that's another kind of cool thing that we got going on here. You can see we have the cells and materials screen, just like we do in QFloors. There'll be a bills and credits and checkbook screen coming in here. The product catalog, you can see that we've kind of taken this out into its own tab here instead of being under our menus. And kind of the cool thing is, like, if I select a manufacturer like this, did I not select it right? What did that happen? Oh, then I can come down here. So you can see that I can see the manufacturer. Well, I can also see all of the descriptions. We call them descriptions here. They're styles in QFloors. So, you know, there's some naming that we've redone. You have to get used to a little bit. But you can see that I can see all of these here like this, right? And now I can see all of the colors down here that go along with that. And it's all in one screen. And you can make all the modifications without, you know, in QFloors, you have to go into a screen, out of a screen, into a screen, out of it. We've taken that all away where you can kind of modify and do everything on one screen now right here. Okay. Makes it a lot faster and quicker to do things. So with our product catalog, that's kind of changed. I didn't show you the job costing screen. So we have a new job costing screen here. It's pretty cool. It looks a little bit different. It acts the same. You know, there's a box to check off. You can see more stuff here. We do have a setup screen that is coming that will allow you to hide or to show. Right now we're showing all the fields, but we'll also add it so that you can hide it and you can make it look exactly like it does in QFloors if you want, right? So those are some new things. The job costing, we have all kinds of reporting. We have a new document manager, a new report, custom report generator, you know, all that kind of stuff. Measure Square connects directly into our product catalog, which is really cool. You know, just a lot of really cool new things that is going to be a launching pad for the future to be able to do just all kinds of new cool stuff, right? The coolest feature that everybody thinks that, I don't know why. In fact, I tease our salespeople all the time. All you have to do is show them that, and they don't care whatever else QPro does. They'll just buy it. It's kind of funny. They don't care as long as we can do this one thing. And the one thing is you can change the color, right? So if you wanted to change the color, let's see, which one do I want here? I'm not sure. Midnight, we'll try that. So if I save this, you notice how everything is QFloors green right now. And then if I come and log out of here, and I come and log back in like this, you'll notice that everything is now a different color, right? So this is the color that it was, like this, and this is the color it is now. So, you know, just cool stuff like that. Those are kind of the highlights and some of the bigger things. I'll take a few more questions if we have any more about QPro.
Someone likes the dark mode. um, so
Yeah, I don't know if you saw how many there were. There were like, and we can put more in there, but it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll let you people play around with those, but go ahead.
okay, so when we transfer from QCloud to QPro with everything saved on our doc manager and reports, does that sorry, I'm reading
The
this.
QReporter reports, yes.
They transfer over
Yeah.
and they're
The
saved to
QReporter,
specific sales orders.
yeah, they're QReporter
Yeah.
reports, yes. The document manager stuff, I believe so, but you know, we've never done it before. So I can't, it is one thing that we haven't done, but yes, we expect the document manager stuff to come over, and the QReporter stuff, we think we have a conversion way of converting most of those reports. So if you have well, the default ones are there for sure. The custom ones, if they're extremely custom reports, those we may have to redo. But if it's just the language of the terms, all of that kind of stuff's already in here. Like it's, you can customize a lot of that stuff just right in here, right? Like, let me see here. Custom report, you see there's a custom reports, archived reports, preferences. You know, you can see this. You can put your terms down here. Just it's a standard feature that you can put in here. So a lot of more customization on reports. You'll be able to customize your own reports a lot easier. That's one huge feature that we have. So yeah, that kind of stuff. We made sure that we could do that a lot better than what we do in QFloors right now.
Awesome. Okay, so when someone's asking if QFloors is going to be phased out once QPro is out.
Good question. You know, we're never going to force anybody to leave QFloors. So, but there may be a point in time where QFloors doesn't work as well. We're also considering upgrading QFloors, but I do know this, that the cost to maintain QFloors is way more than it will be for QPro. So I expect if we keep QFloors up and rolling, I mean, we're never going to force anybody out, right? So I would expect that if you wanted to stay on QFloors and did not want to change, you know, it will still work for a while. But at least we have a feature or a path that if it ever did stop working, you could go to QPro. If we choose to try to upgrade QFloors, which we might, I do know that the cost of that will be more than QPro because it costs us more to maintain and to support QFloors than it will QPro. So the cost definitely will be more. So that's a way of saying, I don't know yet, but trying to give you an idea of the things that we've considered.
Okay. Someone's asking about QSched. Is there going to be a Q
Yes.
scheduler available on QPro, or what's going to change there?
Yeah, so there's already a scheduler that's out there that connects to QPro. There's one, but we're looking to get a couple of more options. So there wouldn't just be one option. We're looking at multiple different options. And there's a wide range, right? So what we've seen is some schedulers are so detailed, they might be like $400 or $500 a month. Other ones might be more $75 to $100 a month, and other ones are $10 a month. So that's why we're not just going to go with one, because the wide range of variety and what their capabilities are, like the $450 a month one has Gantt charts in it and project management and all kinds of stuff, right? And our smallest dealers don't need that. They just need a labor scheduler. And so the $10 a month one's going to be just fine for a lot of people. Okay. I have one of our bigger dealers right now that use the $10 a month one. And they're one of our biggest dealers. So, but I have other dealers that are like, I can't operate without a Gantt chart. So, our strategy is going to be integrate with probably at least 3, low, medium, high, and let our dealers pick which one they like the best.
All right. Is B2B necessary with QPro, or is that automatic?
Is it necessary? It's the same as QFloors. You can choose to use it or not use it. So just in QFloors, you can choose to use B2B or you can choose not to. It's the same thing in QPro. No difference. Same exact thing.
Okay. Will QPro have a payroll option?
That will be the same as QFloors. It makes no, well, so it's the very same as QFloors. Nothing changes. So if you know what's happening in QFloors, that's the same. It'll be the same way where you can do installer, payroll, and 1099 within QPro or QPro. W2 stuff, you will use an external third-party payroll system because it makes no sense to do one internally. And I think everybody kind of knows that, you know, that's how it is, that payroll is a commodity anymore, and to put it inside of our software, like as another tab, doesn't really make any sense. Now we'll do integrations and things like that, just like we do with schedulers, but to actually do it ourselves, well, and let me just tell you why. If I did it myself, it would cost you $400 to $500 a month. If you get it from somebody else, it costs you 30. So why would I make one and charge you 10 times more than what it's worth when you can go get one for a lot less expensive that does a lot better stuff? So that's why we don't do it. Is we could do it, but it wouldn't be in the best interest of our customers for us to do it. The majority of our customers. There might be one or two people that maybe it would benefit, but 99% it would not.
Awesome. Okay. Does QPro offer the ability to separate the accounts by retail, builder, and commercial cells?
Yes. The same as QFloors. That part works the same exact way as QFloors.
Okay. And then just the final, there are still a few people just wondering, when they should, when a QFloors cloud user should can be able to switch to QPro.
Later this year, it would be later this year if they don't have a requirement for one of those three options that we already went through. We went through that earlier in the video. I talked about a couple of the features that won't be there. So if you don't need one of those three, then it will be later this year. If you absolutely have to have one of those or all of those three, then it might be a little bit later on. But again, 70 to 80% of our customers, let me just be conservative, 70% of our customers will be able to convert this year.
Okay. And then someone is asking about lead management in QPro. Does QPro have lead management?
It doesn't, not like QFloors, but we do have some lead management that we're developing, yes. We will be announcing new lead management for QPro and even for QFloors later this month. So come to Surfaces or tune in at Surfaces and you'll hear about our new lead management. We weren't quite ready to release that information yet. So it's coming. Pay attention. You'll get it here within a couple of weeks. At least that's what I'm projecting.
What about user permissions?
Same as QFloors. I mean, not the same. I shouldn't say that. It works differently than QFloors. It's better than QFloors. The lead management part of it, or the security access part of it, is better than QFloors. It's more detailed. I don't have time to go over it right here, but if you call our salespeople or our support department, they can walk you through what that looks like in QPro. It's all done already. So it's done, ready, we're using it in the permissions part of it already. So.
Okay. I think that has been all the questions.
Wow. An
We
hour and a
answered
half.
50 questions.
An hour and a half. Well, this is great. I love these kinds because it's not as boring as the training was. I'm just going to say it how it is. I love interacting with our customers. I love your awesome questions. Great questions. I love just showing you where we're going, what we've got. I mean, I think you guys can all see that every year, man, we're just coming out with cooler and cooler stuff. And, this fact that we're getting onto QPro this year with our accounting, man, I'm just so excited that, been waiting so long for this, and I can finally see, where we can have this done for you guys and get a bunch of you guys up and going on this. So that's what I'm so excited. This is going to be an awesome year. So, and it's 25 years, right? Celebrate 25. Accounting comes out in 25. We have all this stuff going on. man, this is going to be an awesome year. Come to the cruise, man. I want to see you guys. That would be, it's, I just look forward to being with our customers for a week. We don't get to do that very often. And just to hang out and to, just to shoot the bull, I guess is what you say, but just to be with everybody, that's going to be awesome. So thank you all. I better get on to the next thing that we got going on here, but great to spend an hour and a half with everybody, and we'll see you at the shows. Come say hi at the shows. And if you have any more questions, we'll be getting back with you. Thanks.